Hi guys, before we start the episode, we're going to tell you all about Patreon. If you love the podcast and want to support us, then sign up to Patreon for as little as £3 a month. You get to come into our living room, like our actual living room, where we chill and get high.
It's like an extra hour a week, innit?
Watch us get chonged on the couch.
Yeah, we've got some extras for the other tiers. You can get a members-only club card, Mild High Club prints, discounts on merch, and probably some other stuff in the future as well, innit?
Yep, lots of goodies.
But if you sign up, you'll be helping us out loads. There's £3, £5, £10 tiers.
It's really good.
So if you love the podcast and you want more from the podcast, go sign up today. Patreon.com/The Mild High Club.
And the more patrons we have, the sooner we can take over the world.
Always about taking over the world.
There's so many things I want to do, and we need your help to do them.
Go sign up now. Nice one.
Love ya. Ladies.
And gentlemen.
And in-betweens. It's time to up your vibrator game and get yourself a brand new vibrator. There's so many different things you can get these days. There's wands. They sell the Vush wand, as seen in Cardi B's music video.
Ooh. Get yourself a WAP.
There is. Yeah. Listen, it's all about that self-care. And if you do one thing to look after yourself this Christmas or going forward into the new year, get yourself some more vibrators. Fellas, look after your ladies. You know how made up she'd be to open a brand new wand?
Maybe make sure she only opens it in front of herself though, and not any children around.
Not the kids. Honestly, it'll improve your sex life. It'll improve your mental health. It relieves stress. It's self-care. Wank more. taylorstoys.co.uk.
Yep.
And the code is TMHC10 for 10% off all your vibrator needs, or just your kinky stuff like bed restraints, cock rings, so much stuff to just spice up your life.
There's even stuff you can put in your dick if that's what you're after.
Yeah.
Who knows? We don't judge. There's a pair of breasts with a fanny in the middle. Go wild.
Whoa.
10% off that.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Go there now.
Yeah. Taylor's Toys, TMHC10.
Good vibes only.
See you later.
Bye. So we're back, episode 46, Mild High Club. Hello, we're here with NIC HEWITT from Westlakes Hemp Company. Company or just Westlakes Hemp?
Just Westlakes. Well, it's the Westlakes Hemp Company officially.
Right, okay, cool.
Okay.
So that's it's just all CBD products and that?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. You've got a...
She's brought us goodie bags.
Yeah. Would you like them now?
Yeah, let's...
Yeah, we may as well get that going. Well, exciting.
We'll try and talk to you, but
oh, look at them
you've
bags.
distracted us
Send
with
that one over.
presents, so we might not say much. Wait, is that one for you?
Yeah, that's
Well, have you got one each?
Yeah, bits.
Oh my goodness.
There you go. So it's a
Thank
mixture
you.
of Westlakes Hempy stuff
Amazing.
and some weird and wonderful goods from Cumbria.
Ooh.
So you've got piss flavoured lemonade. No, I'm joking.
What?
It looks like piss in the bottle.
Does look like
There
piss
you
in the
go.
bottle. It also looks like a Colt 45 or something. That's cool.
Westlakes Hemp.
Why is it this
Shout
colour?
out.
Because it's proper lemony.
What is it?
Absolutely no idea. It's just something.
Lemonade?
It's just something in Cumbria that it's been around for years and years and years. And they make it up there. You can't get it anywhere else.
Yeah.
There's that, and the same company make cheese XL crisps, which I think are in your bags as well. And they're not cheese and onion, they're just cheese flavoured.
Ooh,
Cheese
got 'em
XL. Love that.
this is good.
How good's this? What's that?
A mug.
Oh, mugs. It's like Christmas.
Stuck.
I feel bad that I haven't brought anything for you.
This is good. I know. Sorry. Shout out.
So, yeah. So in the mugs, you've got there's some CBD tea bags. So, like
Ooh.
breakfast tea, they're inside.
Bit of Kendall mint cake as well.
Oh, amazing.
Love
For
that.
like tea, the breakfast tea, you just make it like a normal cup of water, milk, sugar and whatever. And a lot of people, if you take CBD capsules or whatever,
Yeah.
they just have it as I have it in the morning as a brew. It's
Right.
exactly the same as normal breakfast tea.
Oh, he's right.
The only
Yeah.
thing is, when you put the water in and the milk, it looks a little bit like dishwater.
Right, okay.
But it does taste like tea.
That's
Okay.
cool with me.
Amazing.
Oh, he's right.
So we've
Look at
got
this. I've opened my box upside down.
luxury face, hair and body oil, CBD.
It's a good advert for you, is this as well?
Yeah.
Where can people
And-
find this?
All online, westlakeshemp.co.uk.
Oh, thank you so much for this. That's amazing. We've got CBD capsules.
I've got some all-purpose balm. Oh, is this a tea bag?
Yeah.
So
There's
loose tea
there's a
bag.
few of them in the mug.
Oh, okay, cool.
Amazing.
Oh, they're cool mugs, them. Thank you very
Amazing.
much.
We love CBD.
Yeah, let me know how you get on with him.
I will.
What's
Might-
this? And CBD capsules.
I might keep my mug here so that I can have a brew.
Yeah, and we'll represent on the podcast every time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Crispies
Um,
and
No
mint
problem.
cake. Amazing.
We
Thank
can
you
give
so
you a
much.
card. That's about it. For
Yeah.
our
I'll
guests.
take a card.
It's
You
a,
also get that as a patron, so I feel bad.
it's a.
Oh yeah, I've already got one.
It's
So-
Oh, have you? Oh,
No, I haven't got a
But
card.
she's a patron, isn't she?
right,
So
okay.
Patreon.
she will get
Um,
one eventually. You can have
yeah.
two.
It's
Awesome.
it's like a club member card, and you can call in a favour with it as well, like with the mafia or something. Do you know
Oh,
what I mean?
really?
So yeah.
Maybe we're thinking maybe only podcast guests though, because if patrons starts getting crazy and we've got all these patrons asking us for favours.
Yeah.
You'll end
But
up
you're-
running
Like it a
down
bit
to
too
Liverpool
much,
with
yeah.
conjuring mental
The,
shit.
the world.
Yeah,
Like we've got people listening in America and that.
I
and
know. Yeah, so
We can't
maybe
do
just
use any
guests.
favours.
maybe just guests have the favours. But so you had when you got in touch with us, you told us like you had a bit of a backstory, the reason why you got into doing the CBD.
Yeah.
You want to just tell listeners that so they know, because we already know it. So
Yeah. So I've got borderline personality disorder,
Right.
bipolar type 2, and cyclothymia.
okay, what's the
So-
last one?
Yeah.
So cyclothymia, it's like some people call it bipolar type 3.
Okay,
So with bipolar, everybody knows you go up and down,
Hmm.
up and down. So if you've got the normal one, it can last. Your ups can last for 6 months. Your downs can last for 6 months.
right.
With bipolar type 2, it's a bit faster.
Okay.
So I can do like 2 weeks up, 2 weeks down, a month up, a week down.
Okay.
But cyclothymia is like, it can be daily.
Okay.
So for instance, today, when I got up this morning,
Mm.
I was so tired. I was in a worst mood ever.
Yeah.
But then an hour later, I've got all these ideas pouring out of my head, and you'd think I was a different person.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the way it is. And the word cycler, as in cyclothymia, it is just constant cycles. It doesn't stop.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah.
So a lot of people say when you've got bipolar, you can do up for a couple of weeks, down for a couple of weeks, then you can be stable. I'm never
You're
stable.
just always up and
It's
down.
always
all
up
over
and
the
down,
place,
always
yeah.
round and round.
Right. Okay.
Constant.
Right. So you got them.
And that's like, so you what did you say? Multiple borderline personality. What's
disorder.
that exactly?
So it's a condition that, so bipolar and cyclothymia is chemical. So
Right.
it's a chemical imbalance in my brain.
Right.
That's why I take CBD. That's why I use cannabis, because it levels me out.
Yeah.
Whereas the borderline it comes from trauma when you're a kid.
Okay.
But it doesn't necessarily mean, because when I say to people I've had trauma, a lot of people think, God, what is it? Have you been raped? Have you been molested? Anything like that? It's nothing like that.
Yeah.
When I was younger, at the age of 5, my granddad died, and then my great grandma died within like 5 days of each other.
Right.
So how do you tell a 5-year-old that it's not their fault? Because if you think of a 5-year-old in their head,
Yeah.
everything's happening to them. My grandma's left me. My granddad's left
Yeah.
me.
Right. I get you.
Like that's you can't explain to a 5-year-old that it's not their fault. So at that time, because it's your first experience of something like death or grief or loss,
Yeah.
you then create what you call a blueprint. So my blueprint of death is that everybody leaves me all in one go.
Yeah. Right.
They're not
Yeah.
coming back, and it's all my fault.
Yep.
So from there, the way that I learned to deal with it is to like go inside myself,
Yeah.
and I can't regulate my emotions. So when I'm happy, I'm ecstatic.
Yeah.
And it's,
Yeah.
I can get up in the morning and it's as if you'd walked in my bedroom in the morning and said to me, you've won the lottery. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And that's how I
Yeah.
live my day. But then the next day, you could walk in my bedroom in the morning and say, oh,
actually,
your mum's died.
yeah. Your numbers
Yeah.
were wrong on that lottery ticket. You're like,
Yeah,
oh fuck, back down
shit,
again.
what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And it's kind of like the best example I ever heard of people talking about borderline. It's as if I'm walking around with like the top 10 layers of skin peeled off me.
Right.
So if you were to walk past me and like poke to me like that, imagine how much that would hurt.
Yeah.
So when people say something to me, it really, really affects me and really bothers me.
Okay.
And it's and the borderline part is that, I mean, they used to call it borderline. A lot of people call it unstable personality disorder now.
Okay.
Yeah.
EUPD.
Yeah.
And it is just that. It's just that I can't regulate my emotions. I struggle to think straight. I can't make decisions. It's very chaotic.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's no rhythm to it. There's no rhyme to it. So a lot of people with bipolar,
No triggers or nothing like that. Just
it just
Yeah.
is. And when you've got other stuff like real life stuff, but I've got stuff on top of it like domestic violence, and I've got moving around a lot, going to uni and stuff. As much as I'm really clever, like academically, I can piss essays.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like common sense,
Yeah, right.
absolutely none.
It all sounds very familiar, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Well, funnily enough, after listening to the pod, I was like,
Yeah, see, like I don't really go to the doctors. Like it's a big can of worms to open up. So, and if they tell me I've got something, it's not going to change like what I already know, how I already know that I am. So I just avoid it, and I don't know if that's healthy, but I don't have anything diagnosed, but I would guess that there's a lot going on in here.
To be fair, the only reason I ever got diagnosed was because to get help through the NHS and stuff, you've got to have it on paper.
Yeah.
And that's the only way that you can get any decent help. But obviously where we are in Cumbria, the resources are limited everywhere you go.
Yeah.
But up in Cumbria, the resources for mental health especially, they're so limited, and there's all these sort of campaigns of speak out, talk to people. But when you go and speak out to somebody, there's bugger all they can do about it.
Yeah.
The waiting lists are so long. Literally, doctors, all they'll do, like, you won't go, they'll throw medication at you. But me, I don't need medication.
It's not always the best option, is it? Like, you know.
No, I took medication for a long time, and if anything, it's done me more harm than good because I've got no memory. Like, I can't remember shit. And it's just...
Yeah, but you're not on medication. That's not, what's your excuse?
Like when I was younger, taking antipsychotics and stuff, like up until the age of 18, before I was taking any medication, my memory is shit hot.
Yeah.
But then after that, it's dead patchy.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous.
Was that what age you started taking medication? 18?
Yeah.
Right,
I was diagnosed at 15.
Yeah.
Started taking meds at about 18, but I had a nervous breakdown when I was 18. Like the first one, when I was at uni in Preston. I had my first nervous breakdown, and that's when they started giving me meds. And since then, my memory is so shot.
Patchy, is it?
Like when I say, like even Christmas just gone, saw a load of mates that I went to school with and stuff. And they said, "Oh, Nick, remember when this happened?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
No, I've got a clue.
I've got
Yeah.
a clue.
Yeah. So you suffer with those disorders, and then you said about you lost your business because of a storm or something?
You lost your... Do you want to talk about this, though?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so I lived in Carlisle, and do you remember in 2015 there was Storm Desmond? And it hit the whole of the country, and there was like... I think Wales was massively affected, but Carlisle, where I was living at the time, that was massively affected. And at the time I was working for a youth centre, because before I did any of this, I was a probation officer, youth offender, youth worker, and I was working there, and I got flooded out in my flat, like literally couldn't get out, lost everything.
Right.
And at that point I just hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
But more, like I said, I had a nervous breakdown when I was 18. In 2015 it happened again. Totally hit rock bottom. I'd lost my job because where we were living, the youth work where I was at, that all got flooded out, so they had to close the youth centre.
Yeah.
Closed all that down, lost my house. I had to go and live back with my mum and dad. And as much as I love them, honestly, my mum and dad are so supportive. They're amazing. But when I was that age, I was like 28, 29. So 28, 29, bearing in mind, having bipolar and borderline since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I'd gone through and lost job after job after job because I couldn't hold one down.
Yeah.
Finally got a job that I really liked. Lost it because of that. Lost my house, lost everything. I just hit rock bottom again.
Yeah, right.
It was just awful, to the point of where, like, I can even remember in my mum's house, to get to my bedroom, we go up the stairs, my bedroom's on the right, to the point of where, at 29 years old, my dad was coming in every 15 minutes to make sure I hadn't killed myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was.
Yeah. So then from there, how did you get from there to starting up
So
the business?
when I get depressed, my sleeping pattern goes.
Okay.
And I kind of like everything turns inside out and upside down. So I'm awake all night, sleep all day. And my dad's got a friend who lives in America, and he's a psychotherapist. And it just so happened, and to this day, I don't know why he messaged me. I was up on Facebook on my laptop, and he messaged me 4 a.m. here, and he'd said to me, "I just feel like something's wrong. Is everything okay, Nick?" And I was like, "No, I'm not okay."
Have you ever met him before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right, okay.
He lived in this, I'm friends with his daughter. My friend Nina, they lived over here till we were 15. But he's from America, and he came over here to study psychotherapy.
Right,
So when
okay.
he graduated, him and his wife and my friend Nina moved back to Wisconsin then. So I've seen her a few times. She comes over here and I go over there. But at that time, I hadn't seen them in, it must have been about 15 years.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen it. And for some reason, he just had it in him.
That's
to,
mad.
Just how it
to
goes,
say
innit?
what's,
Yeah.
is everything all right? I was like, "No, Rick, I'm not okay. I'm not." He was like, "Right, talk to me." And obviously with him being a psychotherapist, he didn't try to psychotherapy me. He just wanted to know what the crack was.
Yeah.
So I told him everything that had happened. And I'd said to him about how the meds, I was up and down. I ended up on some epileptic medication called lamotrigine.
Right.
And the reason I was on that is because they say when you're bipolar, your synapses in your brain are supposed to fire in like a rhythm. Well, bipolar, mine do that. They're all over the spot.
Okay.
Right.
So the theory being is if I take these lamotrigine and like epileptic tablets, it'll make my rhythm
Regulate the
better.
synapses or whatever, yeah.
But all I felt was numb. So I said to him, I'm on these meds. I don't like them. I just feel numb. Nothing's happening. If I was your patient, what would you do?
Yeah.
He said, well, I'd prescribe you cannabis if I'm honest. I was like, right, okay. Now, in the state that he practices in, at the time, he couldn't prescribe it to people, but he'd obviously worked in other states where he could have.
Yeah.
And I'd said, well, obviously, I can't get that over here. He said, well, why don't we have a look and see if there's anything else? So at the time, so before I always said I went to university in Liverpool, I did criminal justice.
Right.
So I've got quite a law policy background.
Okay.
And I understand it quite well. And he had said, go and have a look at the Psychoactive Substance Act of 2016. So in this country, our drug laws are all based on the Misuse of Drugs Act 1971.
Yeah.
And they're very specific about what's illegal. So if your MDMA, your cocaine, when they send it off for testing, if you get done, it's got to have a certain formula and it's got to be very structured, and that's what's illegal.
Right.
In 2016, there was a load of drugs came into the country, and up in Cumbria, we knew it as like plant food, meow meow, bath
Right,
salts.
okay, yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of them before. So to stop them from being legal, because I know the meow meow stuff, the methadone it's called.
Yeah.
If you look at the chemical formula of MDMA, I'll say it looks like a hexagon.
Yeah.
Well, this meow meow was like, instead of having 6 sides, it had 5.
Yeah.
And a line coming off it, so it wasn't
But it
the same
was.
chemical formula.
Yeah.
So it had the same effects, slightly different.
Yeah.
But that's why it was legal, because it didn't fit.
Same with like salvia and stuff like
Yeah.
that was legal for the time, and then
Yeah.
I think they seen what like and spice and all that. It's like you have them legal for the time. You can buy them in like shops in town and that, and then they have to go in and make them illegal because they're just terrible for people, aren't they?
So
Yeah.
the way they got them to be legal was the government introduced a blanket act called the Psychoactive Substance Act of 2016. And the premise of that act is that any substance that's psychoactive is illegal.
Right.
So that covered all of your, like your salvias, it covered all of that.
Yeah.
However, CBD is non-psychoactive.
Yeah.
So that's where the loophole is as to why CBD then became
Right,
legal
okay.
in this country.
Yeah.
Because the 2016 Act supersedes the 71 Act.
Yeah.
And literally, as me and my dad's mate were talking about it, it happened. That was it.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
2016 Act came
It's just
in.
all like perfect timing.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
divine
once
timing.
exactly.
Yeah.
So when I sort of understood what it was, I then went looking for CBD.
Yeah.
And I just thought, shite, I'm going to try it and see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, I ended up going onto Facebook, and there was some mad bloke selling it. I knew nothing about him. I didn't know where he
Just selling it from home, was he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
right.
he sent me a picture of like his bath at home, and it was literally just full of weed, like all in the stock, all the buds, and it was just like a big bath of olive oil with this weed
like
in.
modern day moonshine. And
Yeah, and that's how he was doing it. So he said he'd put it all in his bath, leave it for like 8 weeks, let it all the CBD, the THC soak into the oil,
Yeah.
and then he'd just bottle it and send it on.
Oh, amazing.
So I sent him 20 quid, bank transfer. I thought 20 quid, if it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
Sent to me, and he sent it to me, and I started taking it, and I would say within 4 weeks I'd gone from being sort of homeless, on suicide watch, lost everything, to, oh my God, I've got the best amazing business idea you've ever heard of.
4 weeks.
That's how
Did you say?
that's how it started.
So how often was you taking it?
Every day.
Every day, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
So-
once a day, or?
No, so with CBD, I mean, I advise my clients and customers and stuff, you take it gradually.
Yeah.
There's no point in going in right at the top end, because you might not need that much. And as well, the effect of it is also affected by like your previous cannabis use.
Yeah, right.
But when I was younger, I wasn't interested in it. I didn't smoke it. I didn't like it. Didn't like the way it made me feel.
Yeah.
I had no real experience of being a stoner.
Yeah.
So
You're
when
a
I
probation officer and that.
well,
so,
exactly, yeah. So the sort of line of this is why I think it's the whole story. I think of who I am and how I came to be is just hysterical.
Yeah.
I went from being a probation officer to own a cannabis company. It's
Yeah.
Like, you've been on both sides of the fence and that. like if you're going to be a judge of something, you need to see both sides of the story, don't you?
Yeah.
So I think you're a good
In the
advocate
best, yeah.
for it. Yeah.
I'd like to think I understand it a lot more than I ever did.
Yeah.
And I find that, again, with our client base of people or anyone that wants to take CBD, I think when I explain where I've come from, you know, I would say sort of like our generation, our age sort of people, we grew up with weed being totally accepted. Whereas you've got a lot of older people who, when I explain to them my background and where I've come from and how well I understand it, sort of trust me. And that for me is the biggest part of my job is getting people to, you know, cannabis has got a stigma about it. It always will have it, I think, because of how it was being drummed into us for the past God knows how long. Don't trade drugs, say no. Just say no.
Yeah.
So, you know, it does me well in terms of understanding it and being able to pass that on to my customers.
Yeah.
And I think because the reason I ended up with the company is because when I went looking for CBD, all I could find was like weird blokes in groups on Facebook. I knew all about it.
Yeah, you don't really
making
want to
oil
be
in the bath. Yeah.
So it was just, I had this idea of, well, actually, so after I took it for the month and I'd sort of come back round again, I thought, I've got an idea here.
Yeah.
And at the time, my friends were all like, "Oh, she's off on one. It's a bipolar again."
Yeah.
Like the amount of mental ideas I've had over the years.
Yeah.
Some work, some don't. Most don't. But at least I try.
Yeah.
So I just went head first for it, and I thought, after well I feel, wouldn't it be? I wanted everybody to feel how good I felt, because I know a lot of my friends like you feel the way that you do, won't go to the doctors because essentially they can't really do much to help, and they don't trust it. So when I've sort of said to people, come and try it, and they've give it a go, they've realised that it can help them. And I feel like I wanted them to feel as good as I felt without having to go to the doctors and without having to go through all the trauma of being on waiting lists and waiting for someone to help you.
Yeah, and then finding which medication works. Could find one that's like has real bad adverse effects to you and that, and then you have to go through the waiting again and all that. Whereas you just sort of put these drops under your tongue for 4 weeks and you're like, oh my God.
That was it. And I was shocked by it.
Yeah.
Even I was shocked because I just thought, I can't believe, and at the time I can remember thinking, nah, it is the bipolar. I thought I'd just gone up a height.
Yeah. And
then I'd feel all right for a couple of weeks and then I was going to hit the deck again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even so that was 2015. So what's that, 7 years? 7 years ago. And in those 7 years, I think I've maybe hit rock bottom once.
Yeah.
Since then.
Which is not bad considering. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was met with all these Facebook groups and stuff, there was no real website I could go and just ask questions. What is CBD? How does it work? Where do I get it from? Where do you get it from? How do you make your products? So I went to my friend Luke, my business partner, and me and Luke went to school together. And when we were in school, he was a stoner.
Right.
He was known, he was, you know. And I went, look, I've got this idea. I know that you hate your job. How much savings have you got?
Yeah.
Should we have a go? And I presented him with this like half a business plan, half a million miles an hour. And he said, go on then, let's go for it.
Yeah.
And that was it. That
So
was
when was this?
point.
2015?
2017.
Cool. So since then, what have you done with the business?
So we started online again, but what we did do, we were the first sort of company to put our faces on the website. So when people phone or whenever they come and speak to us, they know it's me who I'm talking about. I put my story on there.
Yeah. I think having the story definitely helps because like you get a lot of people like CBD's everywhere now.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are sort of just in it because you know it's just one thing, another thing that sells in it. It's just another health product that sells or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas to have your story and put the story to it and have what affects, like what benefits it has and how it's actually genuinely benefits someone with them disorders. Is real helpful to have, whereas a lot of people is just like you go to Holland and Barry, it's just there, innit? There's no, you know, what should I take this for? I've took it once, didn't really feel any different, and
and
stuff
that's
like that.
It's what I decided to do, and this is what me and Luke decided right from the very beginning, is that we were going to be completely transparent about our products, where we get it from, how we get it, how we source it. We do our own testing. So all of our products, if you look on the ones that I've give you, they've got batch numbers on.
Right.
If you had an adverse reaction, you can come to me, Nick, something's happened, I can take your batch number, go back, and I can take it right back to the farm in Spain where the hemp was grown.
Right, okay.
And we've done that the whole way along.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I think a lot of other, like you say, a lot of people just think it's a fad. And a lot of people adding it to make a quick buck.
Yeah.
But me and Luke have said, this is our life now.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a probation place in the country that's going to take me back.
No,
in front of any more offenders and say you must not smoke weed when I'm sat the company.
Yeah, that's with this. I was like, well, I can't get another job now, so we've got to make it work.
Yeah, you're either going to make or break. You just got to go for it.
Yeah.
So,
And just being transparent as well. I think that's what's helped us.
Because people see like the genuine side of your personality and stuff. It's hard to feel like you're going to be scammed out of anything when you sit there and tell your story so openly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's like a connection through the screen. Like people feel the connection, they feel closer to you, they trust you, and not like trying to sell us or whatever, but it does help to sell your products when you're so authentically honest. And
and I think as well with the way that like again, I've never had any business experience, marketing experience. I've had none of it. I've learned it all as I've gone along, and I think the biggest change ever has been social media. So if we can tell like you tell your story on social media, people make that connection. They can see the similarities between you and them. And I think everybody along the line has always had a mental health issue, whether it be a spout of it when you've gone through grief, or someone like me who's got quite severe issues. Somewhere along the line, someone's going to identify with things that I say. And I think that's what brings them to me, and that's why they trust me, because I'm not going to bullshit people. Like, of course, I'm here to make money and I'm here to pay me rent. We all are. But I'm not here to just scam people.
And also, like, seeing, like, sort of, everything's about representation at the minute, and it like having different cultures on TV shows so that young kids can feel represented and stuff. And like having you telling your story, someone with similar disorder or exact same disorders might see that and go, that's what I need, though. They might not know that CBD would be the best thing for them. Like you say, them hearing the story and going, that's similar to me, that, and then getting that representation and then trying it and sorting it out for them is a big help as well, isn't it? Like
100%. And I think as well with borderline personality disorder, it's known as being one of the most difficult disorders to try and treat, because essentially any book that I've ever read, like I had to look at that borderline personality disorder for dummies, like the series. I went and read one of them, and it's literally 400 pages of why I'm a terrible person. It's like, I don't need you to tell me. I know how bad I can be. And it's kind of even without all the CBD, just putting it out there that actually people with borderline, we're just misunderstood, and putting that out there so that people can understand it and the way that we work and why we're like that, because it's not my fault. I didn't ask for it. It's just something that happened, and I've got to deal with it every day. But up until this point, I've lost, as a probation, I lost my job as a probation officer. I couldn't cope with the pressure.
It
was too much. And at the time, their excuse was, we can't sustain someone that needs time off work.
Which isn't ideal, is it?
No. And it's just important to raise awareness about different mental health issues, because a lot of people aren't diagnosed, and work is fucking difficult for them, especially if you've got a manager who doesn't care if you've not got a diagnosis to say, I've got like autism or whatever. They're going to treat you different, because they're going to be like, why aren't you fitting in this box? And that's why people need to talk about mental health more, because like I didn't even go to the dentist for I just didn't go to the doctors, didn't go to the dentist, so I don't know what is going on, and I've always found working really difficult. And I used to work with someone who had autism, and they was just treated completely differently because they had the diagnosis. But there's just so many people out there who didn't grow up in an environment where you go the doctors or there's someone to help you. Do you know what I mean? And especially working class as well.
I think as well, you're expected to just fit in a box, and if you don't fit in the box, and that's it, you're knackered. However, when you do get your diagnosis, especially sort of in this day and age, if the companies that people are working for don't do something about it, if people are shouting all over social media, my boss didn't do this, my boss didn't do that, then they get a bad reputation. Companies don't want that. No. And I think social media has changed that narrative completely. It is for the good, but I also think there is that element of people can abuse the system.
Definitely, I
hear people, God, I feel so bipolar today, and I'm like,
same with like OCD and all stuff like that. And it's like, I'm just so OCD. My couch cushions need to be straight, and it's like, but you can leave the house if they're not. Like if you've got genuine OCD, people can't leave without doing certain things.
There's a lot of different types of OCD as well.
No, I know.
My friend's got OCD, and you wouldn't know. It's more that she'll get obsessed on. I thought she wouldn't stop talking about giant worms the other day. Like, and she just couldn't
And she's
stop
got that
talking.
in her head.
Yeah,
It's like
just giant
constant.
worms.
Yeah.
Shout out Amy.
I get like that mind.
Yeah.
Like if I get an idea in my head at the time, I think it's a brilliant idea, and I've got no concept of time.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I think I can get ready in 10 minutes. I'm laughing. I feel like I can get ready in 10 minutes. I can't.
Yeah.
Like I can remember I was the other day in the shop. I was thinking about Christmas decorations. In my head, what I wanted to do, like the old-fashioned wire coat hangers.
Yeah.
I wanted to get one of them, and I was gonna get a fire, and I was gonna heat it up, and I was gonna bend it into the shape of a weed leaf.
Yeah.
Then I was gonna put lights all over it, and then I was gonna fit it to the window.
This sounds very much like you.
I was like, and I spent the whole 8 hours while I was at work trying to work out how I was going to do it. Several phone calls of how are you going to help me do it? Because I obviously need your help. So I involve everybody else.
Yeah.
At the end of it, I'm like, we've got 2 weeks left of Christmas. So even if I did manage to do it, they're going to be up for 2 days.
Yes, not
I
worth it
spent
then.
8 hours focused on it, and I can't let it go. I can't let it go
Yeah.
until either it fucks up or it works.
Yeah, right. So luckily the business worked then.
Yeah.
Because otherwise there should have been another thing.
Yeah, but the thing is, Luke, my business partner, and I think this is why it works as well, because Luke's very logical. So it's like, I'm the creative, my head explodes with all of these mad ideas.
Yeah.
And instead of people shutting me down and go, no, you can't do that, he'll go, you can do that, but maybe at this scale.
Yeah, right.
So he can rein me right in.
Yeah.
And we've known each other for that long. He's one of my best friends. I absolutely love him. Honestly,
Yeah.
we've been through so much together. And he'll literally just say to me, no, that's a daft idea. But he knows that my daft ideas work because we've got a business out of it.
Yeah.
So he's like, instead of me having like a long rein, he'll just shorten the leash a little bit
Yep.
and say, right, try it and see what happens.
And then you can
that's-
expand if it works type thing, yeah.
And we've done that now for like 4 years. So we've gone from being like online to now opening a little cafe, a little retail shop, a community space. We're looking at getting like doing comedy nights.
Oh, yeah.
Looking at there, so we can use it like a little bit of a venue.
Yeah, cool.
And also
Amazing.
doing stuff like, so I worked a lot with Women Out West, they're called, West Cumbria, for domestic violence
Right.
people. And they're saying, so things like the lassies who have been in there, who have finished the course,
Yeah.
but maybe want to come and meet up somewhere else,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
come and use the space and use it as a cafe for what it is.
Oh, that's nice,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I quite like, because again, with all my jobs before, doing like the probation, I've always been very community based, so I don't want to lose that.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
at the same time, I think I even looked at being a psychotherapist myself.
Yeah.
But because I've got so much going on in my head, I can't be a good support for somebody like
Yeah,
that.
starting businesses with all your clients.
Yeah.
Like, that sounds like a great
That's
idea.
exactly what it would be. That's exactly what would happen. And it's just, yeah, I don't want to. I can be a support for my friends,
Yeah.
but doing it professionally, I'd be no good. But there was a time when I had it in my head I was going to be the best counsellor you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I tried, but then I moved away from it.
But even through what you're doing now, you kind of are doing that just
Still
on your
helping
own
people,
terms, innit?
Yeah. In a way that's best suited for you
Yeah.
and your head.
We'll have to come up to the coffee shop when we go mushroom picking next time.
Yeah.
So where did you go?
Up them ways are good for it, aren't they? Well, we went
Lovely
like
Yorkshire.
it was towards like Ambleside ways.
Oh yeah,
But we originally went to Settle.
yeah.
That's not as far up, is it? I don't think.
Yeah, so Settle, it is further up. It's like the Settle to Carlisle railway line. isn't it?
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I
So
know
yeah,
what
we
you
can.
mean. But you see, that's where all the tourists go for the mushroom picking.
Oh, is it?
I know the secret.
We found ours. We found ours like by accident, really.
Yeah.
And we just kept going back to the same place.
Yeah.
But we come with you. We come for a coffee and then
Yeah,
we go around
come
your
on,
little
'cause
mushroom spots.
where the cafe is, there's a place where we used to go with the kids picking them, and it's
Yeah.
actually 2 minutes up to the
Yeah.
road, and
Oh,
it's
there we go.
mad with it. And because it's not like a proper touristy area, it's just the locals.
Yeah.
Don't look up where the cafe is
No.
until after
Yeah.
next season.
It's not when you go picking them, it's like something primal takes over you and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
can't stop, gotta get them all.
Yeah, we went crazy, didn't we?
Yeah.
Just have fun with them though.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Really good.
I quite fancy giving the microdosing a go.
Yeah,
I had a look on do you know is it Dr. Brian Cox? Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
His brother, I'm sure it's his brother, he's running the like the psychedelic investigation for the Royal College of London.
Right.
All right.
And they were looking for people to test it on for the microdosing. But because I've got like a dual diagnosis, so they were looking for people with bipolar type 2.
Right, okay.
Because I've got type 2 and borderline, I didn't fit the criteria.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
put my name down for when they get on to doing the dual diagnosis.
Yeah.
See if they'll take me on as a patient.
Oh, yeah,
That'd be good.
And give it a go.
It's meant to do amazing stuff for like all sorts of like disorders and like PTSD and all stuff like that in it, and traumas and
trauma,
depression,
confidence,
and
stuff like that.
Yeah.
What? How long do you think before weed is legal in the UK? Have you got a prediction?
Question.
It is a bit.
It depends which way you look at it. In my head, I'd like to say 5 years.
Yeah.
But I think, and this is where I'll go off on a rant. I think the way that our NHS system works and our Tory government, they're going to fight it, and they're going to keep fighting it because they own the cannabis industry in this country.
Yeah.
So
Theresa May's husband and that in it, and he's got a big
British
plant
Sugar.
and all
So
that,
they own. So it's British Sugar, the company, and they've got 54 acres in Norfolk.
Right.
And it's where the greenhouses are. And they did it in secret for like 4 years. So British Sugar owns a company. Howard May owns, like, I'll say 51% of the shares for them. So he's like the top boss.
Yeah.
But then the managing director of the cannabis part is Victoria Atkins MP's husband. So Victoria Atkins was our drugs policy minister for the Conservatives. When it got found out that she was the husband of the managing director, there was a conflict of interest. So they slid her off into another job. Right. Because she'd been standing up in Westminster, giving it, no, cannabis has got no medicinal value. Yet her husband.
So snide, aren't they?
So snide.
How dare they?
But yeah, they send it all off to Canada for medicinal purposes.
So it's actual THC weed. It's not even hemp. It's like full on.
They've got the real stuff.
That's so cheeky, that. And then they arrest people and fine people for having like a little 20 bud.
Yeah.
So
the only
cheeky.
reason did you know why they ever got found out?
No.
The only reason they ever got caught with the farm in Norfolk is because the police were getting loads of phone calls of neighbours were smoking it.
Right.
People were phoning up. I can smell weed. My neighbours must be smoking it. And there was loads of people, coppers knocking on doors. And it turns out it was not to do with the neighbours, it was the farm.
The big farm, yeah. Wow. So snide, though.
Wasn't there something dodgy going on about the workers? Wasn't there like poor work conditions? I might have made that up. I feel like I've saw that there was like...
And there's plenty of poor work conditions all over the place.
No, but I don't know if they was using like... I don't know, they was taking advantage of like immigrant workers and stuff. I'll have to check that before it goes out. But I remember seeing something like that.
I don't know. I know there was something about because it's like, so the way that they've got the greenhouses, all the British Sugar part of it, the sugar farm, the beet, they pipe all the CO2 into the greenhouses. Right. And that's for the heat to grow the cannabis. And I know there was something about, I don't think the workers knew quite what, because it was like classed as two separate entities. Right. So you had your scientists and your botanical people growing it, and I don't think they quite realised what the crossover was.
Right, okay.
But don't quote me on it.
Yeah.
But if you have a look, I tell you what, they only ever let cameras into the greenhouses on a TV programme called Country File.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And you can have a look at it, but that's the only time they've ever let anyone need it. For the
so snide, innit? Does me head in that. Like, how they're profiting off it so much, and yet locking people up for it. Yeah.
What annoys me about it the most, it's like you've seen in America and Canada where people are using it to cure cancer. Yeah. And it doesn't work for all cancers, and it's not just the cannabis on its own that'll do it. Like, there is, turning your body alkaline or acidic to kill the cancer off. It's not just the cannabis that does it, but it can do it.
Massive help,
It's saving people's lives. And I look at, like, people I've lost to cancer. I lost my best friend when I was 19. I 100% think if we'd had access to cannabis back then, she'd still be here now.
Well, I know a lad who had thyroid cancer, and he treated it all with pure cannabis oil.
It was RSO.
I don't know.
Big Simpson oil.
I'm not sure. I think he made it all himself.
Yeah.
He went and just picked up like loads and loads of weed and just made his own oil.
He got rid of it.
And he cured it. Yeah, he didn't have any like chemo or anything like that.
It just, how can it be like going on in America and that, but over here we're just pretending that that's not happening? Like,
I truly, hand on heart, and like, I know I'm not wearing a tinfoil hat, and I probably should be, but I hand on heart think it's because your big pharma companies have got so much pressure on it, because at the end of the day, in this country, because of the NHS, we've got a totally different way of working. So if you think in America and Canada, it's all based on insurance, and insurances pay for it. But whereas over here, because of the NHS, like, if you were to go and get cannabis on prescription, you'd want it on the NHS. You wouldn't want to pay for it privately. You'd want to be able to get it. Well, if we start doing that, then the big pharma companies are going to lose hundreds of millions, thousands of millions of pounds. If you think like when I was at my very, very worst, I was taking 27 tablets a day.
Yeah.
And if you think, if I was doing that, 27 tablets a day, I was spending 40 quid a month on my prescription.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's what I was paying for the NHS, not what it actually costs.
Yeah.
So if I was going to do that up until the day I die,
Yeah.
and now I don't take any of it because I take CBD, imagine how much money they've lost.
Yeah.
They don't want me to be well.
No.
Because then I'll stop being a customer.
Yeah, there's no profit in the cure, is there? Like,
No.
Yeah.
And I think the big pharmaceutical companies put so much pressure on our government to not legalise it because they're getting too much money out of it.
Yeah.
But even like if they did legalise it, they'd probably make loads of money off of it anyway, wouldn't they? Like taxing it and doing all the stuff that they done in like Colorado and that. Like when it was legalised, they ended up giving citizens like tax back and stuff, didn't they? And,
like Colorado's got the best healthcare system, it's got the best schools, it's got the best mental health support, everything. And I
if
think
they was like, working for us, that would be happening here, but they're not working for us. They're working
for
to keep
themselves.
us sick. Yeah.
And the thing is, when I know, because doing what I do, we get people coming in the shop all the time who want to talk about it, and I get asked that question all the time, when do you think it's going to be legal? And it's like, the more I talk about it, I know the way that I sound. I know I sound like I've lost the plot.
Yeah.
I know I sound like I'm some conspiracy theorist, and people look at me and they're rolling their eyes, oh, she's off on one again. And the more I talk about it, the more it becomes real. It is real. That is happening.
Definitely.
Our government, or people in our government, do own a cannabis company.
Yeah.
And they are sending it abroad.
Yeah.
And they're not giving it to us.
I think if you think people aren't corrupt, then you're mad.
Yeah.
Because how can, I'm sure you've all met mad, horrible people in your lives. Why do you think they don't exist up there in positions of ultimate power?
Yeah.
Of course they do. That's where they gravitate towards. There's a lot of narcissists in stand-up because it's a microphone on a stage with a spotlight on it. That's where they go. If they want power, there's a lot of paedophiles who are teachers because that's where they go. It's just makes sense.
It's power hungry.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
People
and
controlling.
Yeah, and if they're not giving us people what we want, they're controlling us without actually controlling us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the term conspiracy theorist needs a rejig as well.
A truth seeker.
Because some of it obviously is I think the Earth's flat or whatever, or but how come I'm labelled at the same term as someone who thinks the Earth's flat and the Queen's a lizard? Just because I think, the pharmaceutical industry are horrible and they make money off people being sick.
Yeah.
How are we in the same category
you get tied
people?
with the same brush.
It's mad. I think there needs to be a new term of conspiracy theorist and truth. Yeah, what did you say?
Truth seeker.
I like
seekers.
that, truth seeker.
Yeah.
Might put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah. Tinfoil hat, truth seeker.
We don't. That's for the conspiracy theorist.
I'm taking back the tinfoil hat. I need a way.
Okay, we have a little break.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, I want to tell you about a new sponsor we've got, Munchterm.co.uk. Munchterm is the UK's #1 smoke shop. So you want to hit up them for any and all your smoking paraphernalia. They've got skins, grinders, blunt wraps. They sell CBD flour. You've got all sorts. There's pink ones. There's raws. All sorts of stuff. Lighters. Anything you need to get high.
Grinders. Blazy Susans. Rolling trays.
Them as well.
Filters.
And them. We've got a little promo code. It's Mild High UK. If you use that, you get £2 off your order. You can either use that code or use our link that's in the description. It's munchterm.co.uk. Go there. Buy some stuff. Get high. Support the podcast. Enjoy the rest of the show. Love yous. Munchterm.
Island, and that was 300 years behind. All the fellas at the wives and that. It was proper.
Island. We're recording.
Yeah, it had the highest rate of suicide in Ireland where I lived. It was
that's Copeland. So where we live, Copeland's got the highest rate of male suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah. What in the UK?
Yeah, and it's bizarre because where we live, because of Sellafield, we've got loads of people running around with loads of money, but there's bugger all to do.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're just kind of I don't know how to explain it. there's loads of technology there, and people have got loads of money, people go on holidays and stuff like that, but when it comes to like actually having stuff to do in Cumbria, they're so far behind with the times.
Yeah, right.
Doing a podcast is quite new up there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like we've only done like 4 or 5 episodes, and even then we're getting quite a few followers and a few listeners coming, and it's like one of the first Cumbrian podcasts.
What's your podcast going to be? Is it?
So it's called What's Crack, Cumbrian Last Podcast.
Okay.
What's crack?
Yeah, as in like, what's the crack?
Okay.
But the person that she is Cumbrian Lass, nobody knows it's me.
Right, okay.
But it started off as me years ago.
Ignore that bit.
Yeah. I don't mind now because people are going to hear my voice anyway, but it started off and then there's like a team of 4 of us now who do it. So it's not just me, and she's this Cumbrian Lass as she's like an exaggerated version of me.
Right, okay.
And that's what we're trying to roll with.
Yeah.
Get like Cumbrian people on to talk about Cumbrian stuff.
Right, okay.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and there's not really anything like that up there. So I think as much as like we're sort of behind, if you look at the setup that yous have got here, we're so far behind. But in terms of up there,
Well, we started in our house. Like we didn't start here. We started just in the back room on a GoPro.
Yeah.
We didn't even have a mic. We were just using the GoPro audio first. But it's just a case of starting it and doing it. And
just like being from St. Helens, there's not many. We've had Johnny Vegas, and then
that was it.
Yeah. So and
I once met him in a Blockbusters in Preston.
really?
Did you?
Yeah.
In Preston? A
went to
Blockbusters in
uni.
Preston?
Did you see what film he was hiding out or?
I can't remember. It was so long ago.
I saw him at the cinema. I think we were watching Warhorse, and he stood up and like applauded afterwards. And everyone was like, "Okay, I guess."
I'd love to get a pint with him. He's great crack going for a drink.
Yeah, he's just proper St. Helens, like, you know.
So St. Helens,
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about something. Do you remember a couple of weeks ago you were talking about selling farts?
Yeah.
There's going to be a real like all over the place episode because it was quite serious at the start.
I've never sold any, but I was like, maybe it'd be funny if I did it.
I reckon you could do it. I once had a mad bipolar idea of selling Cumbria jars of air.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because apparently in China and Japan where there's loads of congestion, if you're a big businessman, to show that you've got money, you buy jars of clean air.
Wow.
That's mad.
I'm just
80
sniff
quid.
it.
Yeah. So you open the thing and inhale it. And that's it.
That's where you get all your oxygen.
Wow.
Yeah, do that.
Cumbria.
You've seen it here
Sounds
first. Well, this would be a bit worse to open, especially if the packages got mixed up in the post. Like, ooh, breath fucking hell. Cumbria stinks.
I've just inhaled Amy's fart.
Well, do you know when you said that and then we got a few people messaging us going like, oh, this girl's doing it and she makes like 37 grand a month or something stupid, wasn't it? She was on like
37 grand a month?
you know what I'm like with numbers.
Okay.
She was on like the Australian Bachelor or something. She's got a bit of a following.
Yeah.
So I think that's why people are paying them.
Right.
And we watched the little video of her and she was like, I eat this, and this, and then she puts a rose petal in it and all that. Well, she went to hospital because she was eating too many gassy foods.
All right.
And she thought she was having a stroke because she
word.
filled herself up with gas so much because she was trying to like bottle so many farts. So yeah, I just thought I'd tell you because it was news
37
today.
grand, I'd do that.
Yeah, I'd be
It might not have been 37 grand.
I'll check
that
does
while you
anyone
chat,
want any
'cause,
farts? Come get them.
But yeah, it's mad that is. She just had to stop doing it because she was like, oh, I think I'm dying because I've eaten too many farty things.
But she's making a fortune over Christmas with Brussels
Sprouts, yeah.
She made £38,000 a week, actually, selling farts.
God.
I'd definitely be hospitalised for that kind of money.
Yeah. A week?
There's a lot of things I'd do for that kind of money. Not just end up in the hospital for gas.
Yeah.
A week
we don't
apparently.
kink shame here, do we? Like, message if you want some farts, I'll send them.
Yeah, she was
It
hospitalised.
might be Dean's. Farts as well.
It's a real roulette that you're playing.
Just celebrities do that? Would they do that?
They don't need to do that,
They
do
don't
they?
need to do that. We do. We're poor.
Yeah, mad. Did you have questions or?
I've just got some not about CBD, like general.
Yeah.
Do you want to? So, can people just buy your stuff online? Can they?
Yeah, it's all on the website. Obviously, with the cafe and stuff, you can pop in and get it. But we do just first class post.
Oh,
We've
sweet.
been asked actually recently to see if we can send it abroad, but the rules and laws and stuff are quite, you know, if you're in the wrong country, the wrong bottle.
That's what I was going to say. Just going back to the first bit, you know, the guy said he was from Ontario, the psych guy.
Oh yeah, Wisconsin.
Yeah, right. It's mad that like he said he was prescribing cannabis he would have prescribed cannabis to people, but like over here, you think smoking cannabis causes whatever you're trying to cure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they go, oh, it gives you schizophrenia, and it's like, well, they might give you it for schizophrenia over there.
Yeah.
You know, like,
and that's why in this country, even at the moment, like the CBD industry's going through a massive turmoil at the moment because I don't know if you've heard about it. It's called the Novel Foods Act.
right.
So because cannabis, well, CBD, it's sold as a food supplement.
Yeah.
So because it's sold as a food, so it's equivalent to like vitamin tablets and stuff
Right.
like
Yeah.
that. It comes under what you call the Novel Foods Act. Now, the most recent one that I knew of being a novel food was quinoa, or quinoa, as I was calling it for years. And basically, if a food hasn't been consumed in the West, as in Europe, hasn't been consumed before May 1997,
Yeah.
it's classed as a novel food, and you've got to have a novel food license to sell it.
That's
So
just mad,
to
isn't
get
it?
one, it's free to get, but all the testing that you've got to do, it can cost you, like, I think when we looked at it, it was going to cost us 80 grand to get a license for it. But you haven't got 80 grand.
That's
to get one.
insane.
And the thing that pissed me off the most about it is that it's just a technicality.
Yeah.
So for us to prove as an industry, because I've got something, I own something called the Hemp Cooperative.
Right.
Sort of the biggest online business-to-business hemp and CBD group.
Right. Yeah.
And we as an industry, it's a brilliant industry to work in because everyone's got their own story of how they got there. And you don't tend to find it's like your big businessmen who are in it for the money. It's everybody who's got a story like mine, who found CBD, it worked for them. They wanted to go on and make people better. And we got together as an industry and said, right, how do we prove that CBD has been in our food chain since before 1997? So we've got a load of paperwork and stuff. And the problem is that when you extract CBD from the hemp plant, you use what you call critical CO2 extraction.
Right.
And it's the same way that your turmeric's extracted, all your herbs and spices are extracted. And it's been done like, and it's known as being the safest way to extract it in bulk to then pot it and sell it.
Right.
So because CBD has been on the market since 2016, extracted using CO2 to then package it and sell it on, essentially it's never been extracted like that before 1997.
Right. Okay.
And that's the technicality. So that's why it's a novel food, because before 97 it was just used in hemp seeds and plants and stuff. It was never extracted like that.
Yeah.
So what the Food Standards Agency is saying is that because it's never been extracted like that, it is a novel food. But the extraction process is the same extraction process that's used
For
across
all
the board
sorts.
for everything else.
Yeah. Just like they're just trying to find ways to
everything's
stomp it
different.
out, innit? Yeah.
It's just putting stumbling
Just
blocks
make it
in.
hard, yeah.
Yeah. And that's, it's something that, again, we're all waiting. So we all had to put in, loads of the bigger companies have got together, banded together, and put in a load of applications for novel food. So in the beginning, the FSA had said that we all needed to have one. And then it was, well, no, if you've got a main supplier at the top, who's then supplying little companies like me, as long as the big people have got it, the little people, we don't need one. So there's a lot of massive companies have put the applications in, and the deadline was like April last year, and we're still waiting to find out if it's being accepted or not.
Yeah, just make it hard, don't they?
And then the person who works for the Food Standards Agency, which is your government-run entity, the past 3 of them, I think, have left. They've resigned because it's just such a hard job.
Yeah.
And the rules, the goalposts keep changing.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we try and keep up with it. And a lot of people, you'll see now, a lot of CBD companies are going into like the cosmetics. That's the reason our cafe, we've got an industrial kitchen at the back so we can start making our own. So like your face oil that I've given for you. And if you look in your box, you've got like a little cream.
Yeah.
The cosmetics don't fall under the Food Standards Agency because it's a cosmetic. So you're finding a lot of companies like me are going away and doing all the cosmetics because it's easier
Yeah,
than
right.
fighting with this novel foods. But at the same time, the best stuff is in the capsules, and that's what you need. And that's what comes under the novel foods. So we're still fighting. Like, I'll fight to the bitter end. I absolutely will. Like, I'm in it.
God.
Half for a penny, I'm in it and I'm going. You know, but it is that thing, like, the thing about, like, CBD bud, in reality, it's still illegal.
Yeah.
So I've been, this is why. The whole point of me telling you all of that is that I truly believe if we had a regulated industry, you wouldn't, you know, as someone who's experienced with cannabis, I'm not daft. If you do smoke a high level of THC since you're 15 every single day, you are gonna trigger some form of mental health condition in you. Because when you're going to your dealers, imagine walking into your dealer, what strain is he? Where'd you get it from? What was it grown with? What did you? They haven't got a clue. They don't know. Whereas in America, when you're prescribed it, you're given a card. You then walk into your dispensary and there's thousands of strains.
All with different uses and different THC to CBD content and all that. Like,
ratios and stuff. So the one I always go after is one called Harlequin. And the strain, I think it is 50-50.
Right.
So having bipolar and borderline, if I was to smoke a heavy THC constantly, I'd be a wreck. The paranoia and stuff, it would just get too much. Whereas the Harlequin, 50-50, it would completely level me out. But because in this country, it's not regulated and your average person who uses cannabis wants to be stoned, the dealers around here don't grow it. The growers in this country, they don't grow something like Harlequin because the customers don't want it. They want the hard packing, smash it in the face, calculus. And, you know, so if it was regulated properly... You'd be in a great position if it was as well with your coffee shop. I mean, that, to be honest, between me and Luke, you know, when we've sat and had a conversation about where we're going to go with it, that's what we want to be in the position. Fingers crossed, 5 years, I said, 5 years on it. When it comes to the point, right, they're going to have to legalise it. I'd like to think we're in a position, right, we've been in this industry for 10 years. We know what we're talking about. We are set up to be a dispensary.
That'd be bad.
That'd be amazing.
I'd love to.
It's so much better.
That's the dream.
It's just mad that, like you say, having dispensaries and that, like, it stops crime. Like, you go, oh, we need to tackle drug dealers. Like, well, make it legal and there'll be no drug dealers. The war on drugs is lost.
It never worked and it never will.
No. But there's no crime if there's no, like, drug dealers and that.
And the government doesn't make no sense as well. So what are you on about? Do you know what I mean?
Well, there's an online group called, I don't know if you've heard of them, Seed the Future. Have you heard of these guys before? Have a look at them. They've got a group on Facebook. And they're basically they do something called Feed the Birds. So that's one thing. So they encourage you to what we do at home is feed the birds. So you have a bag of hemp seeds in your car. As you're driving along, just chuck them out your window. Started growing everywhere along the roadside. See if you know, just as it's a bit of like a silent protest. And they look at like court cases and to see if they can, you know, you join the group and if you get done, say you were caught with someone, if you were caught with someone, they'd help you with your court case. And there's a thing recently for cannabis, and I don't know how, it's not 100% proof, and it's something that you'd have to go to court and fight. Basically, what the theory is that for something to be a crime, you've got to show the damage. So with cannabis, if you're caught with cannabis, there is no way that cannabis has done any damage to anybody. In terms, like if you think about a violent crime, you've been physically hurt. That's where the damage is. But with cannabis, there's no proof of it damaging anybody. Nobody's ever died from it. It's never hurt anybody. So therefore, theoretically, if you were to go to court after you'd been caught with it, you could say, like, there's no crime because nothing's been done. And there has a couple of cases gone to court and they have got away with it because of that. But you've got to know the right lawyers and you've got to be able to fight it in the right way. It's finding the right way to do it. But people are doing it and they are winning.
That's handy to know.
Joining that. Facebook group.
One of the things, you know, you said about like CBD flower, there's loads of companies in this country that sell it. But I went to our I've sent loads of emails to our crime commissioner saying, look, can I stock it? People ask for it all the time. And they've basically said to me, cannabis is cannabis, hemp is hemp. It's all under the same umbrella. If I start selling it in my shop, they'll shut us down. And they'll do
That's so stupid to say it's cannabis is cannabis and hemp is hemp. They're all under the same umbrella. It's like you just said they're two different things, though. Literally in this first sentence, you said that cannabis is cannabis and hemp is hemp. Like, that's two different things. Like,
well, essentially what they're saying is they haven't got the... So if I had a bag of THC in one pocket and a bag of CBD in the other, the police haven't got the resources to go away and test it and see which is high in THC and which is high in CBD. As far as they're concerned, weed.
Yeah.
We're doing you.
I was thinking that for like when we pick mushrooms, like, could you just be like, you don't know what mushroom this is, so maybe it's just a normal mushroom, and try and get away with it. Do you know what I mean? And if you got stopped by police.
Yeah, I mean,
you're
essentially,
picking.
because I've just been picking them, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I just picked 500 of the same one.
Yeah.
I didn't know what one it was, but
Yeah, we're just going to try them and see what happens.
Yeah.
But even that with the mushrooms and stuff, at the end of the day, it grows in the ground.
yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid, isn't it?
That's why I was
And-
never like I'm more inclined to take them and do weed because it's all just earth grown. It's all natural, innit? Like,
Yeah.
I know the weed's grown by dealers or whatever, but
And I know that people think like there's damage done by weed and that, but for me, life has done the damage, and the weed has helped me with the damage that life has done.
For me, it's the lesser of two evils.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's
do I
it.
really want to pack my body full of pharmaceutical meds that in the end, the long term effects of it, my memory now, I forget words.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I struggle to like form sentences, and
Yeah,
that's what's done the
But
damage.
people would say that was weed though, as well. People would go, well,
People have said that to me, but my
Yeah.
response to that is, well, I never actually started smoking it till like 2 years ago.
yeah.
So
But that's what I
Really?
mean. No, you go, oh, my memory's shit, and they go, oh, it's because you
It's
smoke
'cause
too
you
much
smoke,
weed.
yeah.
It's like, well, no, it's not. My
on a day
memory's
like
sound.
bipolar,
Yeah.
I haven't got any motivation, or were you
Yeah.
smoking last night?
Lazy
It's nothing to
smoker.
do with the fact that I've got
Yeah.
bipolar and I'm on a spiral. It's because of that spliff I had 10 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just
it doesn't.
mad stigmas
yeah.
with it, isn't it?
I know it doesn't make.
And when
you
people go, oh,
lazy,
it
I
makes you
don't think
lazy, and you go,
that's-
fuck off. I'm
For
not
us with our
lazy, mate.
businesses.
Yeah, it's like sativa and indica, two
Yeah.
different types.
Yeah.
You've got your indica, which is like what we call your nighttime weed.
Yeah,
Your sativa, which is your daytime weed.
yeah.
And you see, so there's a class in America called puff pass paint,
Mm.
and it is what it says on the tin. You're puffy, you're passy, and then you get creative in your
See,
paint.
that sounds amazing.
That's not
Amazing.
lazy.
No,
Nah.
but I mean, like that sounds like such a nice afternoon.
But
Like,
also-
like how many? Like the Beatles. Look what they did.
Exactly. If
Yeah.
there was no cannabis, there'd be no music.
It's
Yeah, it's
so
mad.
creative. It's
like you
love
say, it all
My
just comes back
fav-
to profit, doesn't it? It all
Of course
comes
it
back
does,
to
the
money.
bottom line,
Like,
but my favourite thing to do is, I'm doing like graphic design and stuff for the company.
yeah,
And if I'm sitting doing a lot of social media, my favourite thing to do is to go home early on a Wednesday, sit, have a spliff, and then get the design stuff out.
yeah.
And I can knock it out.
See what
Whereas
happens.
Yeah, but if I'm sat in the shop, because like we were saying before about driving and stuff, I would never smoke and drive.
yeah,
Like driving to the offices, if I'm sat in the office and I've got a load of design stuff to do and I've no creativity going,
yeah.
I'll
yeah.
look at Luke and I'll be like, no, I'm going home to do this, and he'll look at, yeah, all right.
Yeah,
And off I pop.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then the next day, that's it. I've got a month's worth of
Yeah.
work done.
yeah.
I'm
Have
doing
to.
graphic design at uni at the minute.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah, and everyone else seems to struggle with getting the quantity of designs out, and I don't,
You
and
just
it's
blast
because
through
of
it.
weed. Like everyone's like, "How are you doing that?" And I'm like, "Drugs."
Is that how do you do it purposely though? Like when you think to yourself, right, I've got some design work to do.
You done like 4, didn't you? Or something, and you needed 10.
Yeah, and then I had a smoke, and then had my other half of the designs done.
Like me, it just comes flowing out.
It it does, like, it's got such bad stigma, and it is not deserved
Yeah.
at all.
I would say 80% of the job that I do is breaking or trying to break that stigma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, like my mum broke her back in 2012 in 2 places, really, really badly. We thought in the beginning we thought she lost legs, but very quickly that was put to bed. No, she hasn't. She was fine, but
Yeah.
she's been in pain ever since. Now, me and my mum, 2 peas in a pod. She's amazing, but we're massive metalheads.
Right.
So my mum, 64 years old, mosh pit of download. Oh, you better believe it.
Yeah.
Oh, she's amazing.
I love that.
It got to the point where the pain and that was getting too much for her.
Yeah.
But back in her day, drugs were bad. So it took me 6 months to persuade her to try CBD. And at the time, we were shopping for a wheelchair for her.
Yeah.
Even to the point of where we were thinking, right, how do we take her to download? So me and my dad were looking at wheelbarrows. Like, how are we going to pad these wheelbarrows out to take
Yeah.
my mum to download? And so eventually she had to go and she tried it. She's in a wheelchair yet. He's just retired. They've got themselves a motorhome. I don't see them.
Amazing.
They are enjoying
Yeah.
their retirement. And
All
the-
down to CBD
Oh,
again.
yeah.
Mad.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
lovely.
But that just shows you, doesn't it? Like you say, that because of the stigma of it, like drilled into people years and years ago as well. Obviously, it's not as bad now, especially when you hear, oh, it's legal in California. It's legal. It's just like, oh, it can't be that bad if it's legal there. But like back in the day when it was just like proper ruthless, like, oh, this is a killer drug, this and all that. And it's still just stuck in people's head, innit? That like,
Yeah, but the thing is, the majority of people that I come across in my circles of life are fine with it. But it's obviously it's the gatekeepers, isn't it?
Yeah. See, and I've experienced both sides of that, like being a student and being the age that I am. I've been surrounded by people who were all 40, but then spending a lot of time with like my parents going to festivals and stuff like that. Even their mates, their generation was all about the drink.
Yeah.
And to me, that does more damage.
Oh, it is
Oh,
like,
well,
it
Like
is.
alcohol for me with bipolar. Oh, absolutely
Yeah.
not.
But even just on your body and everything, like I can drink. Like we had a strong edible milkshake the other day.
Too strong.
So super strong, right?
It was 500 milligrams, so too.
Jesus.
But the thing is, like, we were fine. The day after, it didn't even feel rough. Felt happy to be alive.
Felt really good, actually. We went
Did
for a
you?
walk in nature and was like, oh, still a little bit high.
But
probably.
if we had drank a full bottle of whiskey, like, she might have died. I wasn't going for a walk the next day.
No,
tell
you
you that.
weren't.
Like,
Yeah.
it's mad. Like,
I'm allergic to alcohol.
Are you really?
Yeah, so that's
yeah,
why
that's
I started
legal,
smoking
and
weed, yeah.
weed's not.
So you
Bonkers.
can't drink at all?
No, it made me sick off like one drink. But it's an Asian thing. Like
Oh, really?
50% of people with an Asian gene have an alcohol intolerance.
Bizarre.
I think I don't know what. I don't know. The body's just so the body doesn't produce the enzyme to break down the alcohol.
Oh, so it just sits in your system.
Yeah, so it's like
Right.
a poisonous thing for
Yeah.
you. And I think it comes from them drinking tea instead of ale or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe if you got into like drinking rice wine and stuff like that, it'd be
Maybe.
a bit different.
I could probably build my tolerance up, but I don't want to.
It's not worth it, is
No.
it?
Like,
Do you like when you've drank it previously? Do you enjoy it?
No,
Yeah,
I'm
like,
just
if-
sick
if-
straight
if-
away.
Is it like just
Yeah,
instant?
I don't get the high off it or anything. I'm just sick straight away.
Well, it's just like, get this out.
Yeah, I have to go to sleep. Like, so if we're out in a club, I'm asleep in a booth or whatever.
See, but that's totally understandable as to why you got into the smoking and stuff.
And it's like, can I please not buy my drugs from like a nice shop instead of down an alley?
Yeah, it's just
Like-
mad. You put yourself in more danger by making it illegal. If it was legal, it'd be safer.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. We could talk about it all day.
Wow, it's annoying, isn't it?
Once I get on my soapbox, that's it.
Right, so I've got a question here. Is there anything you want to do that you haven't done yet, and why haven't you?
In terms of
The world. I
the
don't know.
world, I
Yeah.
want to do everything.
I want to take over the world.
Yeah, that is me. I've always got a plan, and I always taking over the world, like Pinky in the Brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
There
feel
you
like
go.
my thing at the
Us
minute,
too.
travel.
Yeah.
I want to see.
Have you done much travelling?
I've done a lot of travelling in this country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought a camper van a couple of years ago, but obviously because of COVID, we've not been able to get out
Yeah.
as
Right.
much as I want to.
Yeah.
And when I was younger, my family, we were never like 2 weeks in Tenerife or 2 weeks in
No.
Mallorca. It was always
Caravans.
Well,
and
your mum wants to go
stuff
to
like that.
download
Yeah,
in a
so,
wheelbarrow, so that's
so
like
my
different
my
person, isn't it?
my summers were all very right. We've got 4 festivals,
Mm.
and this is how we're going to do it. And yeah, when I was younger, we always went to festivals and stuff. all
Oh
over the
yeah.
country.
So you were
That's
the
cool.
kid that you see at festivals. That's,
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
Have you got any like cool secret spots that you can tell us to visit in the UK?
Oh, a festival called Solfest.
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 Yeah.
It is cracking.
Yeah.
It's like homegrown in Cumbria.
Mm.
It's loads of different type of music. Doesn't matter what type of music you like, you'll
Yeah.
find somewhere. But it's the vibe and the atmosphere there. It's amazing, and it's
Yeah.
literally on our doorstep. We
Yeah.
go every year.
When is it?
But August Bank Holiday weekend.
Oh, my birthday as well. Weekend.
August Bank Holiday weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know what type of music you like, but
I'm into all sorts.
there's
So
a
are you
band
really?
on
Aren't you?
they've done it the past few years called the Dutty Moonshine Big Band.
Right.
And it's like electro swing, drum and bass.
Yeah.
And because it's such a small space and they've got such a loud sound,
Yeah.
honestly, you just get lost in it.
Yeah.
Absolutely
I
incredible.
might have to check it out one year.
There's them. And my favourite lake in Cumbria, it's the Lake District, Wastwater.
We've been. Yeah.
We've swam in it.
Did, yeah,
found
saw
it.
you.
We climbed out of
Yeah.
a mountain there. Yeah.
That is one of my favourite places.
Yeah,
in
it's
the
amazing
world.
there.
It's beautiful. It's
It's
cold.
Mad how you don't really know
know-
about it as well.
Right,
innit?
here's the thing. So, obviously, the lake on one side is a big, huge mountain, and
Yeah.
they're called the Screes.
Right.
So, the story with the Screes is, do you see how it's like a sheer drop?
Yeah.
It just goes down. Apparently, back in like World War II,
Yeah.
German planes used to fly over it, and they couldn't see. the top of it, and they used to like clip the top of it, slide down the screes. So when there's a drought in this country, the water line drops.
Yeah.
And you can see the planes and the tails
Really? Yeah.
on the
No
top
way.
of it.
No way.
It's
In
on
the
it, yeah,
lake?
Yeah, in the lake.
That's mad.
I've seen a couple of, there's a few lakes like that in Cumbria. There's one of them with like a village at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Is it Honister? I think it's Honister.
Right.
Honister water, it's the same. If it drops down to a certain level, it's like a village at the bottom.
No
But
way.
you can go diving.
Yeah.
So again,
That'd
so
be
it's like
cool.
experiences and travelling. Go diving and you can
Yeah.
dive down into a village.
That's mad. So you
What's
just
that
don't know
called?
any of this.
Honister water, I think it's called.
Going all these places
Yeah.
this year, us all over the place.
They honestly, yeah. Since with COVID, I think it's kind of, I don't know, it's broken my soul
Mm.
in a good way, because I think it's made me appreciate what I've got, but it's also, I want to do things, and
Yeah.
life does come to an end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And having been locked in the house for 2 years, it's made
Yeah.
me realise that no, I don't just want to float around. I want
Yeah.
purpose, and I want to take over the world,
Yeah.
and I want to see the world for what it is.
Yeah,
because I'm
yeah.
not going to be here
I think
forever.
it's done that with a lot of people. You seen it, like we watch a lot of TikToks when we're just monging in bed, and you see a load of people just being like, these past 2 years I've just spent doing things I want to do for me.
Yeah.
It's like,
Learning
I've
to
left my
roller
job.
skate. Like,
I
all
realised
stuff
my
like
job
that.
wasn't what it was all cracked up to be, and all this. And I think it's benefited a lot of people being locked down. I know it's all like it was awful for a lot of people as well, but I think there's some people who've gone through it and been like, my life's completely different now because I've realised I don't need to depend on that job. I'm living for me now and
Yeah.
doing all these new things that they
I
never would
love
have.
how the people's work and environments change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, again, you know, we were saying about like people have got social media, and companies that have got social media have got to be seen to be doing
Yeah.
the right thing by the people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So all of a sudden the balance has changed. It's not work. Is it? I always get it mixed up. Work to live to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't want to live to work anymore.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to
Oh,
work
yeah.
to live.
Living to work's like the worst cycle you can
Yeah.
end up in, I think.
And you know, as I said, my mum, a bigger support through bipolar and stuff. When I had the jobs, I knew I was losing them. You know yourself, if you've ever had a job that you've lost, you know it doesn't just happen over a day. You don't just get sacked. You know, and I could feel myself with the job of sliding down the scale, and
Yeah.
I was missing days, and I could feel it, right? I was getting hauled in to go and get another disciplinary and stuff. And I can remember my mum said something to me, and she was just like, no job is worth feeling the way that you feel right now.
Yeah, especially when they replace you in
I said that
weeks.
to you as well, didn't I? I
Yeah.
was like, why are you letting a
Yeah.
job
Yeah.
affect you this bad when there's other jobs? There's
Yeah.
not just one job, and also they don't care about you either.
Yeah.
No,
Like
you're
you'd be
a number.
replaced.
You're
Yeah.
a number
Yeah,
to
yeah.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that like I've had 2 breakdowns in my life as well, and but I've found it beneficial in the way that you completely broke down. So when you're building yourself back up, you can just leave out what you don't want and reconstruct yourself in the way that you want to be.
Yeah, 100%. I felt exactly the same, and I feel a little bit like when I had my nervous breakdowns, it's kind of in the moment, it's horrendous. And I don't know about you, but I was like, I didn't want to be here anymore. And genuinely, near this cliff, I'd have been off. But I think as I started putting my bricks back together, and like you say, leaving bits out, it's made me appreciate me for all my flaws as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not perfect. I'm never going to be perfect.
No one is though, are they? Like,
No.
That's it. We need to stop like on social media, everything's like
edited
edited
and
to
shit like
appear
that. It's just,
perfect.
It's a highlight reel. Nobody puts crap on Facebook.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's a highlight reel of everybody's life. And that's one of the things I learned. You know, I was the same, getting baked, sitting watching TikTok, scrolling through social media just aimlessly.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter which way
Oh,
you
nice
look at
one,
it, you kind of, when you're looking at the stuff that you're looking at, you might not think it's having an effect on you, but it is.
Yeah.
And I, you know, me being the shape that I am, you know, I said I've lost 11 stone.
Yeah.
The shape that I am, I
Which
look
is
at all these-
incredible, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Just- we haven't mentioned that
Not
on the
even ashamed
podcast
of
here.
it.
But 11 stones, mad.
That
like,
is mad.
It's like a whole other person.
yeah.
And I think looking at all the, you know, the skinny birds and stuff, and
Yeah.
I love how social media is amazing for some things, but it's terrible for others.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. It's great
yeah.
for businesses and connecting with people and seeing people's art and whatever. Like, it's helped us, like, people in America have seen our clips and then, you know, all stuff like that. But
Yeah.
at the same time, comparing yourself to other people.
It's bad for
Yeah.
women
trolling and all that type of stuff's awful and that. So it's got its positives and negatives.
So I find with borderline, one of the symptoms of borderline is that you're often sort of looked at as being younger than what you are. Like I'm 35 and I don't I haven't got the emotional capability of a 35-year-old, and it took me a long time to be okay with that. But right now I am, and I know I'm a few years behind. But I'm on Facebook and Instagram and stuff, and I look at people who I went to school with, and I see them, they've got like, they're married with the 2 kids.
Oh, that's what we like,
And I look at them and I'm like, no, nowhere near that. Nowhere near.
See, I'm quite old lady though in my head, because I had to grow up fast. Yeah. I was the responsible one. So I am like quite, what would you call it? I do act like an adult, I think. But I've like aged backwards and I'm becoming more of a child as I get older. Yeah. And I'm enjoying it. Yeah. Because it's not natural to have so much pressure on you as a child.
That's because like some of the responsibility that you had, you maybe don't have anymore. So you kind of like living again.
I don't speak to any of my family. No. So I'm completely reborn after the lockdown. But
also you didn't have because you had to grow up fast, you didn't have them, like especially the teenage years and that, where you do spend all your time just fucking about and that.
I didn't have that.
That's what I mean. But so now you're like having that.
I wasn't allowed to know any of my grandparents. I didn't know like any family. I was all dependent on one person, and it was not a good, the best role model, shall I say? So I just had to suss things out very early on, and starting this and being able to just let my hair down and that, it's amazing. Like that, it's people.
It's a good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the best feeling.
For me, even talking about cannabis in the public eye, like I could never, like 2-3 years ago, I couldn't have done that. I just couldn't, because at the time, being in the cannabis industry now, I'm cemented in it. I'm not leaving. I need to stay.
Yeah.
But back then, it was like, should I talk about it? Can I talk about it? Yeah. And you kind of, you were saying about your authentic voice. I kind of lost that a little bit.
Yeah.
But whereas now, going through lockdown and everything, I feel like I know who I am now.
Yeah.
And I'm not perfect, and I know I've got all these flaws about me, but actually, I'm not ready for being married with 2 kids and do you know what I mean?
Have you got any kids?
No, I haven't.
We were saying this yesterday.
I've got a stepson.
Well, we were saying we haven't got kids, and we don't really like plan on having kids, and then we were like, "This is our baby now."
Our little baby, this.
It's like your company is your baby. You know what I mean? That's what you're putting all your time and effort in. And like, I was like, if we had a kid, like, a lot of this would stop. All the time we spend editing and that at home, we wouldn't be able to do because we'd have a kid.
And I said, like if when we're a bit older, if we wanted, I'd rather take a child in that's been in care or whatever, because I can't imagine anything worse than just not having that support family around you. I'd love to be able to do that.
Give that to somebody else.
But because we do this, we probably wouldn't be allowed to do that because we're like a drug thing.
Well, it's legalised.
I've worked in social services and stuff, doing the. I used to like crisis houses for young people. Yeah. And exactly that. No, you wouldn't.
Yeah. So it's like.
But hopefully things will change.
If it was legalised, it should be all right though, shouldn't it? Because it's just the same as going, I'm being adopted by a family who has a drink at the weekend. Yeah. It'd be the similar vibe of that, wouldn't it?
But do you find that like the pressure on you as a woman?
Oh, it's like, it's unheard of really to be a woman and be a stoner and talk about stuff like that we talk about. Yeah. Especially you come from a small town or whatever. Like people look at you like, what are you doing? Yeah. And it's just like, I'm just being ahead of my time. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. That's how I live with it now. It's like, I know what path I'm on and where I'm going. Like, I know when a lot of people come into the shop and stuff, especially if my fella's in for the day, if he's giving us a hand, fellas will come in who want to talk about cannabis and CBD and they'll go straight to my business partner. And my fella who knows loads about it, doesn't know as much as me about it.
It's my
and
fucking business.
He'll have to say, you'll have to go and ask our Nick.
Speak to the boss. Yeah.
And they're like...
Yeah.
You had that when you were in Levi's because you were like a supervisor, weren't you?
Oh yeah, people would always go to the guy and I'd be his supervisor.
Of course, as a woman you can't be a supervisor.
Yeah. And even just like...
Even when we go for a curry?
Even they give it... I order the spiciest curry on the menu and they always give it to me.
They always give it to me and I go, swap that, I can't handle that, mate.
Yeah. But I was just saying about... like women in male-dominated industries.
The world, then.
The world, and that comedy, like there isn't as many females, and a lot of people think female comics aren't funny as well. But I think there's so many hilarious females out there.
Yeah.
You just might not necessarily be doing comedy
Yeah.
like us.
Yeah.
Because there's not the representation or.
But it's just, I mean, I
harder
could think
to
of
get
nothing
into.
scarier than going up there and
Yeah.
just, like doing comedy. I'm
Well,
happy
you
to do it
better
here.
get ready.
I'm happy to do it here.
Yeah.
In
Like,
here.
I reckon I could be an armchair comic. Like, I think I'm hysterical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you put me on a stage and do it, but I think it's because when fellas are doing comedy, it's very much everyone gets the joke and it's acceptable for them to say things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas when a woman says it, like there's a thing in law, and it's like if you're a woman and if you've got a man and a woman and they commit the same crime against a kid, so say you killed a kid and you killed a kid, your sentence would be, I'll say 15 years, but you get 30. Because,
Really?
Yeah, because you're a woman. There's a name for it and I can't remember what it is. I'll Google it. I haven't got it. If you Google it, and it's because you're a woman and because you're supposed to naturally care for a child, you get like a double sentence.
That's mad.
That's real. There's a certain term for it. I can remember doing it at uni.
That's
and
mad.
it is, and women get higher sentences because we're not supposed to be evil and cruel, and we're not supposed to be.
Some
And that
mothers
way-
are.
Compared to what though? Because like I
Compared to
imagine if you
blokes.
go through most like animals in nature, there's some ruthless female like animals. Do you know
babies
what I mean? Like
sometimes.
Oh, for
Like,
breakfast.
Yeah, lions eat the
Yeah.
babies sometimes.
that might be males, that though,
Is it?
which is
Well, I
worse,
don't
isn't
know.
it?
I don't know. That's mad. That's really mad. But yeah, I think there's a lot of. Also, do you know what it is? Girls can be fucking horrible to each other.
Oh, we can be
Guys.
vile. Vile.
Yeah, guys are like, yeah, bro, got your back, bro.
Yeah.
I mean-
or if you're having a
Even-
scrap, you'll punch it out, shake hands, and that'll
Yeah,
be used
yeah,
done. But
exactly.
we will ignore you, and we'll ignore you for days,
Yeah,
weeks on end. I can hold a grudge.
because a lot of women are insecure as well. A side effect of that is jealousy, and you can just be horrible bitches to each other. And when someone's trying to step out there and do something, there'll be something in people's heads where they're like, oh, what are you doing? Like, they want to cut you down. Like tall
Yeah.
poppy syndrome and stuff.
I've heard that that situation. It's called the bucket of crabs syndrome.
Right.
If you imagine you've got a bucket of crabs all running about in the bottom, and one of them tries to escape, what
Yeah.
happens?
Your accent was
The other ones
amazing.
pull it
wasn't
down, don't they?
Crabs.
bucket of crabs.
The others pull
The
it
others
down.
down.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what girls do. Where,
Yeah.
like, I've got a couple of mates, Tash and Emily. They're my best friends in the world.
Shout out Tash and
Yeah,
Emily.
shout out Tash and Emily. They both are very much. We're all on the same wavelength. We all do what we do together. I'm
Yeah.
spliff, whatever. And they are the only sort of friends that I've made where I can honestly say I feel empowered and supported by them.
Yeah,
And I'm 35. I've been friends with these girls now for like, I'll say, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
yeah,
And I truly, truly feel empowered by them.
Yeah.
And they are a little bit younger than me.
yeah,
I don't know if that's, you know, I was saying before about my head being
yeah.
a little bit younger than what I am.
Yeah,
I don't know
right.
if that's maybe part of it, or if my my generation of friends is still in that
Yeah.
mindset of, oh yeah, on the surface I'll support you,
Yeah.
but actually if you start doing well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Who the
stand
fuck
here.
she thinks she is?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And you get that all the time.
Yeah.
I think you can be inspired by younger people sometimes, because that happened to me when we went to New Zealand.
Yeah.
I felt really beat down by the job that I'd just had and left to come to New Zealand. And it affected me, like it changed how I dressed and everything. And then I went to New Zealand, loads of young, cool people
Yeah.
just being themselves, just dressing wacky. And I was like, oh yeah, do you know, like I'd lost that. And
Yeah.
and because they're like fresh out there, the world hasn't beat them down yet.
Yeah.
So like I just took inspiration from that. And I do think there's stuff to be learnt from younger generation and older generation. Work together, guys.
Just be nice to people, innit? That's all.
Yeah.
Like, just don't be horrible.
Yeah.
Like, easy.
Right.
We'll have to wrap up
Okay.
soon.
Last
so
question.
Go on.
go on.
What was your proudest moment and your biggest regret?
Oh,
That's a big
my
question.
proudest moment. Quite recently, I did a New Year's Eve dip,
Mm.
and I literally just got my kid off and ran in the sea to raise money for a domestic violence charity.
Oh yeah.
So in terms, I proudest moment recently, definitely that one.
Yeah.
Fab.
Just
Was it
because
cold?
pretty freezing.
Yeah.
In Cumbria as well.
Yeah.
Oh my word. But I think
In winter?
yeah, literally
New
on
Year's?
31st of December.
When you said the New Year's dip, I thought you'd made like a Like guacamole or something else. Like, fucking hell,
myself in the Irish Sea or the North Sea, maybe. Yeah. North Sea.
Oh,
Dip myself in the North Sea.
Christ.
But I think it was more, I think the reason I was so proud of it is my friend Emily, who I was talking about, she came and did it with me. And we've both been through the domestic violence counselling and courses and stuff. And yeah, the day, literally all it was running the sea and running back out again, but it's what it meant.
Yeah.
And I think it's that, going back to what you were saying there about like finding yourself again, and you saw other people wear and stuff. Coming out of my previous relationship, I can remember looking in the mirror and I couldn't pick out clothes for myself.
Yeah.
I didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
So I'd put all my little bricks back, left some out that I didn't want.
Yeah.
2.5 years down the line, I threw myself in the sea to raise money for the most amazing charity.
Yeah.
Because of where it had brought me to.
What's the charity?
Women Out West.
Women Out West.
Women Out West in West Cumbria. They're amazing.
Yeah.
And you push your own boundaries as well when you get in some really cold water. Yeah. Because you everything in your body's like, don't do it.
For me as well, it's like it's being 11 stone lighter.
Yeah.
And like wearing a swimming costume in front of hundreds of people on a beach.
Yeah.
So even that. So for me, the 31st of December, after going through COVID, going through everything that I've been through, it was just that one day. But I feel like when I went in the sea, I felt like I just washed all the crap off.
Yeah.
And this is it. New year. I'm not going to say new year, new me, because that's very cliche. But it's very much I washed all the crap off. And I feel like I've built all my little bricks up onwards.
Yeah.
Amazing.
He's right.
The world.
Well, that's amazing to hear, and I hope people enjoyed your story and that.
Yeah.
So what's the website and that you're doing? Are you on social media as well?
So I'm on social media, Westlakes Hemp. I'm on Instagram. What am I on? Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
Yeah.
The website's westlakeshemp.co.uk.
Yeah.
We've got a phone number. We've got a cafe.
Go check it out. If you're ever in Cumbria, go get a little coffee and that at the cafe. We'll be defo coming soon. Okay. And yeah, go check out all them things. Go buy some stuff off them as well. Dead nice.
Yeah, and you have to tell us where to get mushies as well. Like
we'll get that. We'll get that information.
Definitely come up
on our own.
Yeah.
We go check out the Patreon if you're not on the Patreon already, because it's good over there.
Do it, because honestly, Patreon's amazing.
There we go. We got our own one in.
Thank you.
And yeah, nice one for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Hopefully,
I've really enjoyed myself.
We've loved having you. It's been lovely.
Thank you so much.
Very informative.
Yeah. Be nice to everyone.
Tell TikTok all the
and we'll,
about that law about women.
Yeah, there you go.
Outrageous.
I'll just find you.
Yeah. Right. Nice one, guys. See you
Thank you so much
for the Patreon, and if not, we'll see you next week. Nice one. See you in a bit.
Bye.
Hello, everyone. We're here to tell you about a sponsor we've got. Mogwai CBD.
What is it good for? Absolutely everything. Get yours now at mogwai-cbd.com. Checkout code TMHC20
for 20% off. And if you do that, that gets us a little bit of money
to support the podcast.
Support us.
And you're also supporting local business and your own health. It's amazing for mental health. It's amazing for lowering your cholesterol and stuff.
Is it? You're just making stuff up now?
It's good for insomnia, it's good for anxiety, and it's premium quality as well.
You can get it in oils, or you can get it in a flake or a crumble, which you need a dab rig for, which some of you might know what that is. Some of you might not. I don't really know what it is either.
If you get the oil, you can literally just put it in your brew though.
Or under your tongue.
And then be buzzing for the morning.
TMHC20 checkout for 20% off. Help us out with the CBD.
Mogwai.